Sylvester Stallone, born July 6, 1946, New York, U.S. American actor, screenwriter, and director, who was perhaps best known for creating and starring in the Rocky and Rambo film series, which made him an icon in the action genre. Every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. Going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. Every time I failed, people had me out for the count, but I always come back. I believe any success in life is made by going into an area with a blind and furious optimism. The fear is the fuel that we use for overachievement. If I wasn't afraid at times, I wouldn't work as hard. I am not the richest, smartest, or most talented person in the world. But I succeed because I keep going and going and going. Going on one more round when you don't think you can. That's what makes all the difference in your life. I have great expectations for the future because the past was highly overrated. I take rejection as someone blowing a bugle in my ear to wake me up and get going rather than retreat. You have to be really loyal to the people that supported you when you were coming up. I stopped thinking the way other people think a long time ago. You gotta think like you think. If you look back at life, I bet you will regret about 80% of your actions. But life consists of all mistakes. Life is an opponent that never stops punching, so you better never stop punching back. I learned the real meaning of love. Love is absolute loyalty. People fade, looks fade, but loyalty never fades. We're all expendable. We think the world's going to stop when a pope dies or a king, and then life goes on. I believe any success in life is made by going into an area with a blind and furious optimism. Once in one's life, for one mortal moment, one must make a grab for immortality. If not, one has not lived. Every time I failed, people had me out for the count, but I always come back. At the end of the day, Rocky is a love story, and he could never have reached the final bell without Adrian. I tend to think of action movies as exuberant morality plays in which good triumphs over evil. The world meets nobody halfway. When you want something, you gotta take it. When I was in junior high school, the teachers voted me the student most likely to end up in the electric chair. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. Dreams cost nothing. They are free. The hard part is just keeping them going. I'd rather do something I love badly than to feel bad about not doing something I love. You have to grab life by the throat and squeeze before it grabs you by your neck and breaks it. Own your destiny. Love is absolute loyalty. People fade, looks fade, but the loyalty never fades. When life hits you pretty hard, you can go into a dark corner. Life is more than sunglasses and hit movies. Reality, that's the main event. Clothing is the first step to building a character. Study people's success stories hard. Study their failures even harder. I have great expectations for the future because the past was highly overrated. If bad decorating was a hanging offense, there'd be bodies hanging from every tree. I guess the best thing I do of all is ride. Horsemanship. I have a natural flair for it. You know you've been around when they start to remake your own movies when you're still alive. Sometimes I write with music on, and if I'm in a good flow, I don't even hear it. In fact, every day I'll read a chapter of some art book. I don't know why. It's just a habit. Action is always seen as the bottom rung of thespian endeavor. That's just the way it is. I realized the older I get, the more difficult life becomes. It's not easier, it's more difficult. If you're gonna be a failure, at least be one at something you enjoy.